comments. Hello, guys. Just bear with me a minute. I'm leaving the lovely hands of Simon while he just hands you over just for a couple of minutes while we wait for a host broadcaster to load up.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you've had a great week. I can't see any comments yet or people saying anything body's on, but I take it there will be. Thanks for joining us again. We can talk a bit about Wales and a lot of other things that will rabbit holes that will become of it as we go through. I hope you've had a good week. Been absolutely wonderful weather. Quite good. Hope you're all enjoying that. Apparently, the good comes next week. It's going to be cold. So that's all good, I think. Got our first event tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. Well, sorry, it's not our first event, but it's the first one we've done at Waltham Town Hall. That should be a great event tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Me and Russ have been there on a site visit. Very, very interesting place. I can hear strange noises and I don't know where the hell they're coming from. Don't know if anybody else can hear that on the chat, but not getting anything. But there was some very, very strange noises just then. I do not know what they were, and I've just heard Russell's door, but can't see Russell, which is even more stranger. Very, very weird. Something's happening. Don't know what. But yeah, so if anybody did hear any strange noises about a minute ago, just pop it in the chat so Russell pick it up. I'm not picking any chat notes. I don't know if I can anyway. Did you just come in?
Yeah, I've just come in now.
No, about a minute ago.
No.
Oh, great. We've had some very strange noises. I can't see comments again, Russ, so I don't know.
You have to click on the side. Where it says comments. Something down the side that says comments.
I'll come out of full screen. Hold on.
Yeah, you won't get it in full screen.
Comments. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Marie's in. Maz is in. Good old Maz. Good. No, I can see, but I just wondered if anybody heard them strange noises. Hi, Jane. No, I'll see the comments.
A bit of feedback. All right, we should be all right. Right, a couple more minutes live, and we're going to go live on Pulse Talk Radio. Oh, get that van there because that gets in my way. I ain't got my book. Never mind. I have to have this book tonight. Never mind. Oh. No, I can probably get my book out in time, can't I, Russell? Don't be lazy, Russell. Don't be lazy. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be lazy. Right.
It's definitely 8 o'clock. I don't know if you want to hit the...
Oh, right. Let's go then. Let's go. Everything's going Pete Tong. It's not letting me connect to the broadcasting. Nope. Why isn't that happening then? Why isn't that happening? Bear with me, guys. Something's not right. Let's go there then. Let's save that then. We're going to try again, guys. Bear with me.
I order you to cease any and all supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension.
Hi, David.
Whoa. Just hold up 1 minute there. It's not who you're going to call, but it's who you're going to listen to. And if you ain't afraid of no ghost, stay tuned for the EGH Paranormal Talk Show.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to the EGH Paranormal Talk Show, live and exclusive on Pulse Talk Radio. Well, we are live. Thank God for that. There was a bit of technical issue there to start off with. There was a bit of a technical issue. It didn't want to sort of kick in for some strange reason. I don't know why. I have no idea why it didn't want to kick in. But we are all live on Pulse Talk Radio. Thank God for that. Because I didn't need to start off with that tonight, did I? Everything's gone a bit weird. I don't know if I'm Mutt and Jeff in one ear or not, but my microphone sounds well off tonight. But hey-ho. Hey-ho.
It sounds all right from here. So.
Oh, good. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. That I sound good. As always, my lovely, lovely co-host has joined me tonight as well, Mr. Simon Hardy. All right, yourself?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Good week. A good week.
What a beautiful week. What a beautiful week. Absolutely. Everything is going bing, bing. Can you hear everything going off? For some reason, everything is going off, but everything is on silent. How does that work? How does that work? What a strange day. What a strange day that we are all having. Let's see who has joined us in the chat tonight. Let's see who we got. We've got Marie Robinson that has joined us. We've got the lovely Marianne Prosecco drinking Dixon that has joined us. only a quarter cup. Only a quarter cup. The lovely Jane has joined us. Corinne Dixon has joined us. Trina Wells has joined us. David James has joined us. We're going to take you back to that name just in a minute. Okay, we are going to take you back. Let's have a look. Kim has joined us. Oh, hold on a minute. I can see a name. I can see a name. But this week it's a special. We're not going hidey, hidey, high. We can't go hidey, hidey, high. We can't, because tomorrow it's the lovely Heidi's birthday. So everybody, we need to wish Heidi a happy birthday. So everybody, Heidi. And because I've noticed as well, the lovely Tove is also, and that's her twin sister. So for both of you,
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Heidi and Tove. Happy birthday to you. Have a lovely birthday, you two, tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day from everybody from the Pulse Talk family, the EGH family. Have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope we didn't deafen you. But both of you have a very happy birthday. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on our shows.
Yes.
Where was I going after that melee of happy birthdays? But it's Heidi, Heidi, hi, and Hody, Hody, ho. I'm just going to draw you back again, guys, to David James here. He owns a wonderful shop in the Essex area called the Wizard's Cave. So if you haven't already, go over to all the social media things, Facebook, Instagram, and hit the Wizard Caves. And if you live in the Essex area, why not go down and have a look around? We did the other day.
Yeah.
We got some lovely bits. Got some lovely bits. Well, I'd say lovely bits. I won't say lovely bits because they wasn't.
They were lovely bits. One's coming tomorrow with us.
And we got them. Thank you. Heidi has said thank you, and the lovely Tove has also said thank you for the lovely birthday wishes, everyone. But you've got loads of love coming through for you too. Okay, so have a lovely, lovely day. Have a lovely day. But everybody, David, once again, I don't know the address for your shop, so if you just pop it in the chat, I will put it on our screen for you, and everybody can end up popping down there and having a look around. But it is called the Wizard's Cave. I know it's quite a spooky name, isn't it? If I could get deeper in my voice.
The
Go
Wizard's
along.
Cave.
Yeah, the Wizard's Cave.
The Wizard's Cave.
It's quite apt because at the moment I think there's a new film coming out, isn't there, about wizards and all that, something about Dumbledore and Harry Potter and all that. So, pop down there, have a look, and then go from there, guys. But what a mad opening, eh? Mad opening to the show. Good job, mate. There was no one. Philip weren't on before us, was he? No one was on before us. So I haven't got to say thank you to anyone. So I haven't forget about that. I think I don't know why it all went Pete Tong while we was on couldn't connect.
I think it was going Pete Tong before because I could hear loads of noises when you went out.
It was strange. It was the strange. Michael Littrick. I'm not going to say that one on the radio, unfortunately, but I do like it. I'll let all our lovely watchers tonight have a look. But we have got a bit of a conversation for you tonight. If you want to get at Simon, for everybody who's listening on Pulse Talk Radio, how do they get in contact with us?
They can WhatsApp us. Send us a message on 07944 43 5529. 07944 43 5529. Or drop us an email, info@EssexGhostHunters.co.uk. And if you really want to scare Russ and make him jump, give us a ring on the number I've just given you. Nobody's done it yet.
No one has done it yet. On that note, I better just check if we are connected to the actual Bluetooth setting on the mixing desk tonight, because the reason we had no phone last week was because we changed the phone. I changed it to make it a little bit more easier for myself. And so let's just have a look to make sure if you do want to call us, you can. I don't know if let's have a look, shall we? If you do want to call us, you can. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And how do people call you? How do people call in?
07944 43 5529.
And you are connected. We are connected. So that is the way you can call us. If you want to come in and put anything to us, you're welcome to. So for everyone who wants to go to the Wizard's Cave or pop in, it is the Wizard's Cave, Chestnut Farm, South Ockenden, Essex, RM 156DT. But we are also tonight, broadcasting on YouTube as well, not only on Pulse Talk Radio, but we are on the Essex Ghost Hunters YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't got Facebook, but you have YouTube, especially for anybody that is globally that may not have Facebook, but you have YouTube, we're live on there. So go over and have a chat with us over there. All our comments, if you want to ask us a question, always come through to the studio. They always come through to us. Me and Simon can answer them, and just give us whatever you want to say. It's absolutely fine. And we'll try and answer it. We're not professionals. Well, we've been in the game. But how can you be professional in this game?
Yeah.
It's as simple as it gets.
We'll give you our best answer.
Yes, that's it. Trina Wells has just said, my daughter come back from Wales and went into a spiritual shop called the Outer World. She said it was amazing, but a bit fast for her to go. It isn't for Wales, but Wales is lovely, and that's very apt for tonight's show.
Yeah, we're going to be speaking about Wales tonight. Yeah.
So we will be speaking about Wales tonight because obviously we was due to be speaking about it last week, but we had to drop everything. Because we had a wonderful Neil Story come on, and what a night that was.
Yeah, brilliant show, brilliant man. And I'm sure we're going to have him on again. I think we're probably going to go on a few adventures with Neil, to be quite honest, in the future. Truly amazing guest.
And it's what I can't help, but I get lost. When he's on the show, I get lost.
Yeah.
because I end up listening and then I've got to try and interview him. You know, it becomes impossible sometimes. It really does. When you get into it, I become a listener, like, you know, everybody on Pulse Talk and Facebook and YouTube. I become a listener for them. For the minutes he's talking, I become a listener and end up going, what the hell? You know, I'm just, and he stops. I'm like, I suppose I better ask him a question, but
Yeah.
I'm too deep in thought at that point. So, but nope, that was, you know, it was a welcome guest last week. So that was lovely. But we just pinned this week's show to talk about our Wales expedition. Now, I know that we've got, see, it's all pinging. Everything is bloody pinging and nothing is on. But we could have some good news on Neil's story. So we'll, you know, just keep hold of that one, guys. Just keep hold of that one. But we are going to be talking about Wales. We're going to go back in time. I don't think I've got any back to the. I don't think I've got any back to the. I have. I've got 21.1 gigawatts because we're going back to the future. We're going to go back a couple of weeks and we're going to talk about what happened in Wales. Probably we've got enough. We've got the lovely Kim who joined us in Wales. We've got Maz that joined us in Wales. So they will be putting their 2 pennies worth in at some point throughout the chat as well.
Yeah.
But it did start off a bit strange, didn't it? We have to admit, it started off a bit strange because we went to the furthest part of Brecon that we've ever been. We've been to the area where we stayed, but we never stay in that area. We're normally sort of quite close to the borders of England, like Ross on Wye, Hay on Wye, and Gloucester, you know, not far from there. But this time we decided, you know, we found this little place that was right at the far end, up near Langadog.
We're probably saying that wrong, but hey ho.
I think Langadog, Lagadong, however you want to say it. We was right at the far end. And it was virtually sort of towards the back end of Brecon. It was towards the back end of Brecon. Llandothri. I know I'm saying that right. I know I'm saying that well.
Yeah.
So we decided to rent. Well, it was a prolonged experience.
Yeah, it was
2 years in the making. This trip was because of lockdown and everything like that, and not getting money back. But that's a whole different story. It happened,
and the well dried out as well. The well dried out as well.
Yeah.
In Wales, the well dried out. Yeah. Okay.
So, no, that was the other place. That weren't this one.
Really?
No, that was the other place. Totally different.
I'm lost.
But this was a 17th century cottage in the middle of, well, I would say we was in between 2 houses somewhere on a farm, you know, because we did have people driving past every now and again.
It's only to go to their house, though.
Huh?
I think it was only to go to the house at the top of the hill.
Yeah, how, you know, it was very, very, very strange place. Now we made good time. It was about a 5-hour trip, roughly, just under, and we made great time. No traffic. It was unbelievable until we got to the last point where we had to drop sat nav, because going by Google in the previous days leading up to it, I knew that Google Maps, Apple Maps, all the sat navs weren't going to take me in the right direction. I knew that. So we had to follow what I would call the directions on the sheet. Now, me and Maz read them both. Maz was my co-pilot for the day, and we both read them right. We knew, but the first place I turned around is my gut said go up it, Russ. My gut said go up it, but it just didn't seem right, did it, at the time?
No, it didn't. It didn't.
But we made it in really good time. We made it there by about 5 o'clock. We should have been in our place by about 5 o'clock. Come about 6:30, we still hadn't found this, and I nearly swore then, we still hadn't found this poxy place. We really hadn't found. We'd gone up all these different pathways. We'd gone up dirt tracks, old farms, you name it, we found it.
Even
Then
got
we
out
had
at that point, didn't you?
Well, we did, because we thought we'd found it. We thought we'd got there. It said turn right at the yellow door. So we turned right at the yellow door. We went up and we knocked on the door. Well, my days. Well, my days. I have not been so scary in all my life. I really, really didn't. This woman answered the door. I don't know where that is. Okay, thank you. She went, go back down to the path and turn around or whatever. Put sat-nav back in. Oh, my God. And I'm thinking, please don't ask me in for a cup of tea, because I'm not going in. I am not going in. It was weird. You looked in the front room. There was books all over the floor. There was just a log fire burning. She was in her dressing gown, and this is 5:30 at night or whatever time it was. It was frightening.
It was actually
and I could not get her away from the door. She just wanted to keep talking, and I'm like, we've got to go because we've got to find our place. We've got to find our place. So we went up the dirt track, the other side of this yellow door, and thank God it was the right place. Thank God it was the right place. We got there, and it was one of the most beautiful cottages. I forgot about that as well, Maz. Sorry, I've got to go back to that story. She had, bless her, she must have had an old her mother staying with us, with her when we knocked on that door, and all we heard was screaming from the mother. Who's knocking at the door? Who's knocking at the door? Knocking at the door. Who's knocking at the door? I was like, oh, Mads, let's not go in. Please don't. I was dreading she was going to say, we've got an atlas that we can show you. No, I don't want to see your atlas.
Yeah, Kim was right, actually, as well.
Huh?
Kim was right in her comment. We were actually going to lock the van at one point when you didn't come back.
It was frightening. It was frightening. But we managed to sort of find our way back and got to finally we got to where we needed to be, which was fine, which was absolutely fine. And beautiful cottage, stone walls, proper 17th century cottage, wasn't it? There was a little, you had to duck down underneath the beams and things like that. It was nice, wasn't it? It was lovely.
Yeah, it was a lovely cottage. Yes,
it really, really was. And it was well decorated. Mm-hmm. It was nice and clean. The kitchen was beautiful.
Yeah,
the kitchen was absolutely beautiful. But we got there. We managed to go and get something. And what a lovely meal that was, though. The first night was a beautiful meal. I know it was a bit we was a bit, definitely Essex into a very posh restaurant.
Yeah, actually, yes. But, yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But, it was a lovely meal in a lovely place.
Yeah,
and we went back, and the fun started that night. Well, not for me. I went asleep, and that was the end of me to the next morning.
But I think somebody noticed the outhouse, didn't they?
Well, we all drove past the outhouse on the way up. Everyone saw the outhouse. And commented on the outhouse.
I can't remember. It may well have been Jay, actually. Can't remember. Somebody did.
But that's when the fun started to happen. Yes. That's when, not for me, At not point it was for me because I generally didn't have any experiences that night whatsoever. I think after all that driving,
Probably knocked
I-
out. You were.
I was shattered. So I was absolutely, on my knees that night. So I just slept. But from what I can gather in Sandra's room and in what was it? And I can't. What was this? Hold on. I've got Kim Russ was in his trying to find his green welly boots.
Yeah,
Trust me. Anywhere near welly boots, not me. But
yeah, I think it started off in Sandra and Kim's room. I think they got the. I think they had children. I believe they had children. I believe that's what they had. But
Yes.
Kim will confirm on that.
yes, they did have children. They had children because the cupboard door opened,
Yes.
or the cupboard door was open in the middle of the night, or opened in the middle of the night. Sandra and Kim didn't get too much sleep that night, I don't believe.
No.
I'm not sure about Maz and Jay. I don't think I.
Right, the first
Yeah,
night.
I don't think. Yeah, Maz would just go, Jay, there's someone next to us. But as far as I was, I know that according to Kim and Sandra, they heard my name mentioned a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I said, why didn't you come and get me? It would have been fine. I would have, we would have dealt with it. But I slept fine. Serves him right for saying about the rocking chair in my room. Oh, I remember there was a loft hatch in Jay and Mazzy's room. And I opened the loft hatch.
As well, wasn't there?
Yeah, but I never opened ours. I never wanted to open our one. Well, it weren't big enough really to open. It was only about a foot by foot, wasn't it, really? But Mazzy's one.
We never did that, actually. But yeah.
But Maz and Jay's loft hatch was massive. It was huge. So I opened it up and I said, I call the spirits. I call the spirits forward. Maz wasn't too impressed. Jay was laughing, but they did have a rocking chair in their room, and we was hoping it was going to rock, but I don't think it did at any point. But your experience on the first night was quite apt, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, I got woken up in the middle of the night. Wasn't really, I wasn't worried by it because I knew it wasn't going to hurt me, but it was standing over you, a big, the tallest figure I've ever seen, and a wide figure, probably 8.5 foot high, broad, very, very broad, and it was just standing over you looking, and it was standing over Henry looking, and my protection was up. No way was it getting to me. But I was awake most of that night. After it woke me up, and I obviously just kept checking, and it was still there. And then sort of daybreak, it had gone. And that's when I went back to sleep for a while. But I did actually get up in the end. So
and did it give you any heebie-jeebies or?
No, not proper heebie-jeebies. I could just see it looking after you. I was trying just more to look after you, that it wasn't going to hurt you and Emery in any way, shape or form. And I made sure it had gone before I went to sleep. I was protected from it. There was no way it was getting to me, but it was trying to get to you and him. But I think you were both sound asleep. So
it was.
So it wasn't getting to you.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it would have been more of. It wanted our. I felt it like it more wanted my attention than it probably did was to harm me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it was harmful. It didn't put me on edge. I was awake, and I needed to be awake just to make sure it wasn't going to do anything, and it didn't.
Yeah. So there is Kim's first night. The first night we had the proper giggles. The kids' energy set us off. We were awake then until after 3 a.m. when we woke up in the morning. The wardrobe door was open.
Do, do, do.
But that was the sort of first night. To be fair, I normally you hear the creaks and the bangs, and you didn't really hear that in that property, did you?
No, you didn't.
Not like the one we stayed in Wales
Oh,
in
God,
the
no.
forest.
Yeah, no, there wasn't creaks like that. This was, I think, I don't know whether it's because it was stone built, but we did hear the creaks downstairs. So maybe
Yeah,
not.
but in the last, the previous properties that we've had, you've heard like the chairs move, you've heard the creaks, like people walking up and down the stairs, the door latches. None of this seemed to happen like that.
No,
It was it felt sort of in the evenings. Apart from the last evening, but when we get there, it seemed to just slow down, didn't it?
yeah, yes, it did. Yeah.
The evenings were very much evenings.
Yeah, had a good. It had probably a better energy than that last house. The last house we stayed in Wales. It seemed to be a different energy. I would say it wasn't until the.
Yeah, but if we talk, we're saying, you're right in what you're saying, because obviously the last property we went into was the UFO weekend.
Yeah.
So we was in a different frame of mind, probably anyway.
Yeah, but that we heard more walking, there was more lights switched on. There was things happening in that cottage. More so than this one. Until the last, well, I won't say it's the last day because there was other things happened, but it really culminated on the last evening, really, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It all sort of like it crescendoed to the last evening, but we'll go through it step by step. We won't jump until the last evening, because then we've left the whole gap in the middle for you guys. We've still got an hour and a half to fill with the show, so we're not going to jump to the end. But so everyone got up the next morning. I don't think there was anything moved around, was there? I don't think there was anybody moved around.
I don't think so. No, I don't think there was, to be honest. No,
there wasn't. I didn't feel that at all. Then we went into, Langadog Friday for our lovely breakfast, which was absolutely brilliant.
That was good, yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely, and which really surprised me. Langadog is just a one street village. That's all it was, wasn't it? A one street high street. It had everything you need, and obviously we did the radio show from there on the Friday night.
Yes.
When we had the team night and we did the radio show.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot loads of little bits like wires and things like that, and thinking I've got to go and find somewhere to be able to get. Well, lo and behold, in the middle of this town, there was a little electric shop. Okay, it was a little bit over the prices that you would pay for like Amazon and things like that, but it had everything we needed. I couldn't believe it when I said, do you don't know if you can help me, mate, do you sell a HMDI connector? Yeah, we do. I was like, you've got to be bloody kidding me. I'm in the middle of nowhere and you're selling me a HMDI connector. I'm like, oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Because that's how it felt. But we went to the little what do they call it? Little fete, wasn't it? A little fair.
Yeah.
By the car park.
Yeah, it was like a little. I don't know. Yeah, it was a little. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it.
Craft fair sort of thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Let's just say they opened a village hall. They had little stalls that you could walk around and get whatever you choose. Okay,
Yeah.
sell plants, little village fete, whatever it was, but on a Friday.
Yeah.
And right at the back, there was this little toot stall. I say toot, I know Jay bought something. He bought a Winnie the Pooh
Original drawing. Yeah.
original drawing, which I hope he's got up on this wall. And me and Henry noticed something in the back. Now, for all the viewers on Facebook, I have got the object, and it is a what you call a stage dagger, theatre dagger. Okay, with a gold handle, some gems. It's not a blade, so to speak. It's not. Yes, it could hurt somebody if you was to wanted to hurt somebody with it, but it's not made for that. It's a prop. But we both picked it up and thought that's got a strange energy to it, and we couldn't hold it. Every time we picked it up, we couldn't hold it. We had to get it back to the car. I sort of had to put it sort of in my pocket, because every time I put my hand on it, it hurt. It sort of didn't want me to hold it. And that is why we bought it. At this point, I didn't have a clue. I did not have a clue, but we knew it was holding some form of energy.
Yeah.
Okay. We knew it was holding some form of energy. And there it is, guys. For everybody on Pulse Talk, it is on the Facebook page as we speak, or on YouTube. If you want to head over there and have a look, you're welcome to. But it was just to go in my haunted cabinet, and that's what I bought it for. What I thought we bought it for.
Yeah.
Well, we paid a few visits to some castles, didn't we?
Well, we had the bit, didn't we, on the
We had Henry's birthday, didn't we?
yeah,
Henry's
we had
birthday was
the
on the
bridge,
Friday.
didn't we? The bit, well,
I'll let you go about the bridge. You can tell the people about the bridge.
I can't remember it very much, to be honest.
There was the train crash, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just got stopped in the middle of basically in the middle of the street. It was like on a sort of walk down, wasn't it? Over a sort of wood stone built wall, and you could see the surrounding countryside. And I was just being called to look over there. That's where this person was. I probably won't mention the names because I can't remember them anyway, but I think it's probably still pretty raw because I don't think it was that long ago. But the story was that I think it was about 1983 or something, Russ, that there was a train crash there.
Yes, so what?
The train got derailed in a great flood, and the young 14-year-old boy on the train decided to try and help. He was on the train, and he decided to try and help two old people off the train. He was a good swimmer, but he drowned in the process. But he was just telling me he was okay. He was happy. He tried to save them. And I think the message was for his mum and his sister, I believe, that he was quite happy. And he made the transition through, and he was all right. But that was a wonderful story, actually. It was a wonderful story there, because it was quite a happy story. We don't get many of them. Not a happy story in the fact that he died.
Yeah, well, there was a major flood, wasn't there?
Yeah, and I think it was a landslide or something, and the train went under, and the train driver died, and he was just trying to get everybody out. And hats off to him. He was quite a brave lad at 14 years of age.
Yes, well, yeah, because I think there was a story about he was at swimming club,
Very good
swimming. Yeah, and obviously there was what did you call it? I suppose it was a natural disaster more than anything, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because obviously the bottom of the mountains, obviously we're surrounded by mountains in Brecon.
Yeah.
Langadog. Just a lot of rain that day. And I think there was a landslide.
Yeah.
Which took the bridge away.
Train
just went into the water, unfortunately. Sad, very sad story. but there was a lot of positive. Yeah, there was a lot of positives from that. I say he tried to save people's lives, you know, and if you're going to pass or, you know, lose your life, what a better way to, I would say there's no good way to lose your life, but to help somebody, you know, his life wasn't taken in vain, was it?
No, it wasn't. And, you know, I think he'd made, I think he'd come back, he'd spoken to either his sister or his mum. He'd already spoken in spirit to them, so they know anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it was a wonderful story, and we went from there, really, didn't we? I think that was a Friday morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Friday morning. Then we went on to
The castle.
I think it was called Deathwind Castle.
I think that's tried to kill us all by putting us up a hill that you've never ever experienced. I don't quite know how I made the hill, but we did.
Yeah, but it was only that one hill, though, wasn't it?
Didn't smoke.
Pardon?
And all I can say was I'm glad I didn't smoke anymore, because I don't think I'd have made it.
But I think we did come up the really, you know, didn't we? We did come up if we come in the other direction, I think it would have been a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
We took probably the directest route possible.
But a great place. Again, a great place.
Yeah. And free.
Yes.
These places are free.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't get that in England. You know, you could walk around this castle.
Yeah.
You know, and it was well, it is Langadog. It's Langadog. We've got Sue Foster's joined us. Next time I see you, I'll teach you to say the Welsh names, places. ED Langadog. But it just say it how it is. It say it how you see it.
Yeah,
that's how I say it.
Say what you say.
Yeah. There you go, guys. This is the story. That was the story of the bridge that collapsed. So if you want to go and have a look at that story, Simon pinpointed the names, everything in that story. So
sad story, lovely story, actually.
Yeah. But no, we went to this castle, which was a great castle to go and walk around. It started to rain though, didn't it? It did start to rain. Everyone was picking up different bits. Everyone had their own sort of, I would say everyone had their own sort of very own sort of personal time.
Yes. It was. So everybody sort of got a different connection in that place, I would say. Different connection.
Yes, definitely. Well, I was doing the live, so I was with the viewers on that one. I think if I remember rightly, Trina spotted something in that live as well. If Trina is still locked in, I know she actually on the comments put something that she saw something on that day. So, but no, that was very personal, that one. And we had a nice little walk, didn't we, to
that weird church.
That was the most strangest church I've.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm not in when I say strange, guys, I don't mean it as in the spiritual sense strange. I just couldn't grasp why it was there.
Yeah.
It was so hidden. It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was. It was absolutely hidden. You couldn't see it from a road. You couldn't really get to it from a road, could you? No, you couldn't drive down to it, could you?
No, you couldn't drive down to it. You could not drive down to it.
People there.
Well, it had to be something to do with the castle. It obviously was, it was only what? A mile walk, probably just over a mile through a field.
Yeah.
And Henry tried to catch a sheep, but couldn't catch a sheep. Unbelievable.
He really thought he was going to be able to catch a sheep.
Yeah.
The sheep. He thought the sheep would actually sit and talk to him, but he did try and tell him.
Yeah, I thought he was the sheep whisperer. No sheep jokes, guys. No sheep jokes. Because I know what's going to be flooded through the comments within the next couple of minutes. But no, it was down the bottom of a hill. It was surrounded by trees and overgrown trees. There was like a little mini spring running through it, wasn't there? But people, I think we even had gravestones from 1992, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. I think it was quite. It was quite.
You couldn't get
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't get a hearse down anywhere near it.
Oh, so they must have carried them down, I can only presume.
Yeah. Sod that.
From the road, which was quite a way away, actually.
Yeah. That was quite a hill coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
But that, that in itself was just a very, very strange energy. I just felt it. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel intimidated or anything like that. It just didn't feel quite right.
I think there was definitely a witch by the castle, definitely, because we heard it. If you remember rightly, I said as we were coming out, and I think you heard it as well. I think about 3 or 4 heard us that voice and that sound.
The cackle, was it a cackle?
Yes.
It must have been a cackle.
Yeah. I think we weren't filming at the time, unfortunately, but yeah, that was a cackle.
Yeah, Kim was right, to be fair. All phones lost power there in that church.
Yeah.
All phones lost power in that church. Which was a bit strange.
It was a strange place that night. It was very strange.
It was. Then we went for a nice birthday meal.
Yes, we did. Birthday meal.
Just around the corner for the pub. And then we come back and did the show live from the cottage.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me now how that held that show, guys, and you can go and listen to all our shows on Mixcloud if you want to. Go back, have a look and listen. You're absolutely welcome to. But they're all on there. It's all uploaded onto our Facebook pages, Mixcloud, everything like that. I think it might even be on Listen Again on Pulse Talk Radio website, www.pulsetalkradio.com. And it got us through. Somehow it got us through. But that is when it all sort of started to turn a little bit sour.
It started
to say sour.
Change.
Yeah, change. So this was, when we was around the table, we did hear a lot of noises. We heard a lot of this is where the noises started to come into play. Taps on the windows, the EMF.
I can't remember who visited that outbuilding. I think it was Jay.
I don't think he visited to after though. He never visited to after the show.
Did he not?
No,
okay.
He went after the show. I'm pretty sure he went after the show. And this is where Kim started to notice as well. Kim's comment, it had a great energy there until the second night. That is when the poo hit the fan. I very rarely be bothered by dead people around me. We have great conversations, but the second night we slept with the light on. That me off. I never felt like that before.
Let's see that second night. I think I slept.
I did. You're going to talk to somebody that could sleep if I think everything was going off around me.
Yeah.
I could quite easily just sleep through it. That things like that really don't sort of bother me, to be fair. But I say there was a lot of K2 hits, and it did seem to be around this table, didn't it?
Yeah.
The table was sort of, and we put that down to probably be in the oldest part of the building, like the original.
Yes.
The original part of the building where it's sort of the back end of the kitchen, And it's on our lives, guys. It's on our previous videos on Facebook. So obviously, if you want to see what it looked like, all us sitting around the table, a very countrified table, having a laugh, having a joke, and going from there. That is exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
And you could feel the energy coming in around the table, though, couldn't you?
Yes. Yeah. There was a lot of energy on that part of the building. Yes.
And I know Jay.
Our room was over there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Which now makes more. Which made more sense at the end of it.
Yeah. And I know Jay was picking up a person at the back door.
Yeah.
Which, looking back at it, was probably the front door.
Yes.
I think it's probably been switched around in modern day times.
And don't forget, there was a couple of buildings that we couldn't get into there.
Yes. Yeah.
There was a attached to the end of that. One we could get in. That was where the wood logs were, but there was another one that you weren't going to get in. So
yeah. But then Jay did decide to take a walk down he did take a walk down to this old outbuilding that was, probably 100 foot, 150 foot away from the house. Yeah. Probably. You could see they'd been obviously doing it up a little bit, but it was an old building, and the energy within that surround. He has done a lone vigil there for us, and it is on camera, but there seems to be a lot of issues coming from what the audio and everything like that, which is just strange in itself. I am getting around to dealing with it, but guys, just bear with me, and then it'll be sorted at some point. But I feel that was the turning point of everything.
Yeah, I
think, and I'm not blaming Jay. That's Jay. I know you're listening with Maz. That's not what I'm not blaming Jay, but I do feel that Jay's introduction of energy in there sort of then allowed the rest to flow.
Yeah,
I think that is where it all come, and I do think they were witches, or has the last night would hags. We'll come on to that. We had a full-blown conversation that we heard. This is Kim against Kim and Sandra. We had a full-blown conversation that we thought were you guys' footsteps downstairs and along the landing, and someone kept walking through our room. That's when we heard Russ called 3 times, as clear as a bell. Why do Spirit always call me? What's the, what do they want from me?
Because it's probably like us calling Spirit to get their attention. If you're asleep, then no bloody chance. They might as well call
there was 7 people in that house that are all spiritually connected.
Yeah.
It's always my bloody name. Spirit, if you're listening, change it. Change it to someone else. Change it to Maz. Go and wake Maz up. Maz. She ate me now. I can see her saying, "Shut up, Russell." As we speak, Maz blames Jay for all what happened in the cottage that night.
No, I don't think you could blame anybody. I think anybody that went out to do that lone vigil, it would have happened to.
Yeah, exactly. I think it had to happen.
Yes.
At least they were not swearing at you this time, as usual.
That's you.
There you go. I told you, Maz. No thanks, Russ. Well, unfortunately, we're going to make it happen, Maz. So no. But one night that I will, that was that night, and we had a lot of activity. I think we even picked up. Did we pick up 2 old ladies sitting in the kitchen?
In them chairs, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yes.
them chairs are once again on our website, our Facebook page, Essex Ghost Hunters. So if you want to go over to the Facebook page, Essex Ghost Hunters, and have a look at them, if you scroll down, them chairs will be there. Sandra did post the pictures of the chairs because it felt quite apt that there were two people sitting within them chairs. And I think you picked up on that, Simon, didn't you?
Yeah, there were two women there, and one owned that house at some point. She was the owner of that house at some point.
Oh, really?
And didn't really like us being there. And in fact, I think at one stage something was thrown onto the floor out there in the kitchen area, if I remember right. Yeah,
Really?
yes. Can't remember what, but me and Emery, or it might be me and Jay, actually walked out, and something had fallen down. Something had been pushed out. Yes. But she was the owner of the house. And because that was, as you said, that was the back door was the front door.
Weird.
So she would have been at the.
That was that. Yeah, because it almost felt like that where them two little chairs were. It almost felt like it was like a little bothy, wasn't it? It felt like it was more of a. I think it almost felt. It's how I'll put it. Is that before it turned into a house, it was probably like a farmer's little outhouse. You know where they come from their farm because
some sort of cottage. But much smaller, on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
Because if you look, that where they used to cook, where them chairs were, that probably went back to the 17th century. That probably was there, where they were cooking, and the old, was it bread maker or something that was there?
Like but it almost just felt that would have been it at first.
Yes. Yeah.
They would. I just feel that's why I said I just feel that it would have been an old bothy sort of. I don't feel there was any bedrooms or anything there. I just think it would have been a place because obviously they didn't have tractors and they would have had horses. But if they wanted to make a cup of tea during the day or just have a stop if it poured down with rain, I just felt that would where they could go and make a cup of tea for an hour rather than going all the way back home. It just felt like that square was it at first.
I don't know, mate. That one I can't be sure of. I don't know. But I would have thought there would have been something somewhere to try and put their head down. Probably out there, mate, you weren't going anywhere for about a week. If you got bad weather out there, you would have had to stay there.
That's what I felt. I felt that at first it was just like a bothy. It was just like a little hut more than anything.
Maybe.
And then over time, it's expanded itself to sort of this sort of overnight residence, and then someone would have bought it and turned it into a cottage, and then it got a bigger cottage and a bigger cottage and obviously a lovely cottage.
Tremendous place,
it was, and that was sort of what would have happened. It was happened on that night, after the show. We all sat in the front room. I do believe we did some necrophonics work as well, some spirit box work in the front room, remember? And we got some talking.
Yeah, I think we did, yes.
Yeah. And bits like that. So, a lot of this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that night it changed. That night it definitely changed.
Yeah,
that was the night.
I think, I generally do believe it was something to do with the outhouse.
Yes,
I just felt that the energies were met at that point, and it was like, okay, you've come down, and it's gonna, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you've woken us up. Yeah,
yeah.
We now need to tell you our story. Yes.
Yeah, and at this point, did you feel, because I know you spoke at the actual property and said to us that you felt like we wasn't the first people to come in there and
do what we were doing.
Yes,
totally agree. think somebody had done it before us.
And when did this feeling come into play?
Not the first night. Not probably. It was probably the morning. It was probably the next morning after that. After this, so it was probably the Saturday morning.
Yeah,
Saturday morning, I would say, because did I walk down to that farm outhouse then? Can't remember, but I know I walked down one day, and I was they were sitting on that patio area doing exactly the same as what we were doing.
And that was probably sort of a lot of clicking into gear.
Yes,
that's how it felt.
Yeah,
that's how it felt. But we've still got 2 nights to go yet, guys. So please hold tight. I can't actually remember what happened on night 3.
Night 3. Night 3 was when did
Saturday
we go?
Night.
Right. So when did we go to the antique place?
In the morning. That was on the Sunday, I think, or was it the Saturday?
I don't know.
It would have been the Saturday. We went to the antique place, and then we drove all that way out to the middle of nowhere to find they closed the road off.
Yeah.
Then we went into that really strange pub at first.
Oh,
Then it was quite a nice pub.
Brilliant. Yeah, that place was brilliant.
Yeah, it was proper local. But honestly, guys, please stay tuned because we are going to our breaks where we can replenish our drinks. We can go to the toilet. So please, everyone on Pulse Talk Radio, you know how it works. If you're listening on Pulse Talk Radio, we're going to play a couple of songs for you. Everybody on Facebook, just stay tuned. And no, Sandra got no. That was the 4th night, Kim.
What
was it? No, it wasn't. That the 3rd night was. Yeah, okay, I'm with you now. Oh, was it? Yes, it was the 3rd night. Yes, I'm with you now, Kim. Sorry, I'm with you. When Sandra got taken over on the 3rd night at the top of the stairs.
Oh, God, yeah.
Outside our door.
Yeah. I do remember.
All right. So if you want to hear what happened to Sandra on the 3rd night, guys, let's stay tuned and join us after the break.
It's a shame Sandra's not on here.
Therapist and mind therapy practitioner. Visit www.5starhypnosis.com for prospectus.
Pulse Talk Radio, the place to come for talk shows about the paranormal. Sponsored by the Psychic Clinic.
Empowering self-healing.
ThePsychicClinic.com.
Thank you for everybody that has stayed tuned on the Facebook Live, guys. We are just having our scheduled break on Pulse Talk Radio. So if you want to go and make a cup of tea, if you want to go and replenish your stock, if you want to go and have a wee, it's now time to do so on Facebook and on YouTube. And we're just going to be here. If you want to ask us a question, we will answer them, but we'll probably answer them in the show as well. And then go from there. But Sandra must be working, unfortunately, tonight, guys. So we might get her in a minute. You never know.
You
She
never
might
know.
go, surprise!
Just at the end of the show, I just want to talk just a little bit about this, Russ. Only for 5-10 minutes.
What is it?
Most haunted house in Borley Rectory. I've got to talk to you. I'd just like to talk that.
Oh, well, look at this one. Look at this.
Wow.
Jackie is watching us in Turkey.
Wow, Jackie.
That's for Turkey. Oh, no, sorry. In the country Turkey. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you now.
Oh, I bet that's not haunted. I bet that's lovely and hot.
Well, Maz always says that Jackie's property is haunted.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently so. If I remember rightly.
Same investigation for a fortnight. needs to sort that out then.
Everything's going beep beep. I'm trying to charge everything up because Paul texted me before the show because it's event night tomorrow. It's event night tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, we might mention that either yet.
No.
Need to do that before the end of the show.
Not just her property, just the area.
Okay.
Well, once all the restrictions are relaxed, Maz, I will be there.
2 weeks. Nice. I've got to get another drink.
If you fancy doing us a favour, guys, and sharing this feed, would be very, very nice of you. Share this feed far and wide. Sharing is caring. Give us as many likes as you can.
Feel the love.
Feel the love. Sharing is caring. Jane, I haven't seen this name before, but welcome along to Joanna Alcon. It's really interesting listening to you both, but I'm at home alone on my own. I think I'm going to sign out as soon as I'm getting scared.
No, don't be scared.
Don't get scared. Honestly,
it's
this story doesn't get any scarier. I promise you, Joanna.
oh, don't you dare! No, but this story, Joanne, would only have happened to people that were calling it and wanted to come forward. So it won't just come to you.
Did we ever visit Llandoffrey Castle? The first time Llandoffrey Castle was in the middle of the car park, wasn't it? I'm sure it was.
What's the one up the hill?
That is Castle Crag.
All right.
Or Castle Crag.
Is that in the middle of the town, so?
Yeah, I think that's in the middle of the town where that metal.
It's got that big bloke standing there. I can't remember what his name was, but
yeah, him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't leave us, Joanna. Don't leave us.
Yeah, that's it. So yes, we have visited that.
We've only got we've got about 1 minute 30 before we go live again, guys. So it's time to get your teas, your coffees, your popcorn, because now we're coming into the crux of the conversation when things get a little bit more heavy, a little bit more daring, and a little bit more. Well, you say you're frightened listening, Joanna. I don't often get frightened, but the last night was pretty intense. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Good on you, Joanna. Good on you. Yeah, it was with the silver. It had like a metal silver man, didn't it, in front of it? So. But no, you just hang on, Joanna, and we'll go from there. Isn't it amazing? Look, your co-host disappears just before we come back. Do you know what I mean? Leaves me all on my own. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. How unprofessional is he? Eh? How unprofessional is he?
Talk Show exclusively on Pulse Talk Radio every Friday night from 8 p.m. with Russell Old
and Simon Hardy.
Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the EGH Paranormal Talk Show, live and exclusive on Pulse Talk Radio. broadcasting around the globe, around the world, and wherever you choose to listen to Pulse Talk Radio. And not only are we on Pulse Talk Radio, we are on the wonderful, wonderful Facebook and on YouTube, dual streaming. Simon is making more noise than he could ever imagine making more noise. But we are coming back now to the conversation, guys. We are heading into where we need to be. Okay, we are now coming back to night 3 and where it all started to go just a little bit different. If you didn't hear, during the interval, we had some comments from the lovely Joanna Alkin, said it's really interesting listening to you both, but I am at home on my own, so I think I'm going to have to sign out soon as I'm getting scared. Joanna, don't leave us, because the story does get a little bit more intense, a little bit more creepy. But we've got to start off with the next, Saturday morning. No, was it Saturday morning? Yeah, it would have been Saturday morning. Saturday morning. Day 3 in the Big Brother house.
We had breakfast again in a normal place, I believe, was it?
Yep. In the little cafe.
Yep, lovely little cafe.
And then we decided to go to an antique centre.
Just for Jay.
Just for Jay, because this is Jay's little favourite. He always come away, and hopefully it's going to be a new little pet of ours. Do you know what I mean? Everywhere we go, we're going to try and get Jay to bring something home. Much to Maz's disgust. But that's what we're going to try and do the most. But we went to this antique centre, and Jay brought some binoculars or horse racing binoculars or theatre goggles or whatever you would call them.
French. There was a couple of French pairs of them. He spotted them straight away, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he wanted them straight away. He knew what he wanted straight away. And he did. And you bought him a wonderful harmonica.
Yeah, and I think he's learning to play. Is he getting any better, Maz?
Maz has said he's banned from the next trip. He's not. There is no way. We are taking him to another antique centre. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, no, Simon bought him a wonderful harmonica because Jay, I think, had this plastic mouth organ that he was playing, and Simon wanted to buy him a proper one. So we managed to get him one. And I hope he's been practicing, and hopefully we'll have a proper rendition one day of Jay playing the mouth organ. But this place that we went to was just room. It was like a maze, wasn't it? There was a room through a room through a room. And it was just, you could, I think I could spend another hour in there looking through all the little bits, because I don't think we saw everything that we needed to see.
No, definitely not.
I think it was generally like, ugh. But we come across this haunted doll, didn't we?
Well, you came across it, actually.
I did. I never took you back to get it.
I didn't see it.
But there was me, Henry, and Kim picked up this doll and all had the it shows you don't look. You walk around not looking. I was looking. I look in every little nook and cranny possible. Every little cupboard door I open. I'm nosy. I go in every little door and every little this, that, and the other. And there was these 4 dolls sitting on the top corner of this, whatever you'd want to call it, shelving unit. And it just had all 3 of us, and not we all picked up on the same doll. We all picked up on the same doll. And it was evil. It was just pure.
It's not. She's lovely.
It had a real horrible feel about it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It wasn't nice. I never took Simon. I couldn't.
Nothing to do with that. Kim.
I didn't take Simon back to that. I think Henry
and Kim, I think, yeah,
took him back. So they're two to blame for that one. I never took him back.
Actually, Simon went and did the haggling on her.
How much was she then?
£4.
And she still haggled over £4.
No, we got it down to £4.
From what?
I think it was £6 or £8.
Oh my God! The poor sod's trying to earn a living, and you're haggling over £2. Poor sod.
Yeah.
I'd have figured left her there for that money, but no. Whatever this doll was,
Gwyneth's fine.
but you know, and to be fair, she stayed in the bag all day long. You know, she didn't cause any. Well, to be fair, she could have caused problems because the sheer fact the road was closed to the location that we wanted to get to. But we went into I was trying to get to the most. It's called the most rural, in the middle of nowhere church. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Kim, on this one.
No,
4 pounds of grief.
No. This is where it all went wrong. I got that.
We're going to carry on the story. The doll doesn't come into play until later on.
Yeah, but the dolls all of a sudden started getting the blame for any little thing that went wrong.
It did.
No.
Since the doll come into the play, everything went Pete Tong. It's a simple equation. Doll comes into car, then everything goes Pete bloody Tong. So I couldn't agree more with 4 pounds of grief and that bloody doll. Okay. I drove. Yeah. Okay. In context, it was 21 miles, but it takes you about 7 hours to drive that far. But this church was the most it's the most secluded church in the whole of Great Britain. Okay, it was called St. Michael's, but we just couldn't get there. I couldn't find another route into it. But we had a nice drive through the mountains. It was quite nice. We went back to the local town and we found this. Well, I think it was someone's front room turned into a pub.
Yeah, but that's how they used to be. That's what James said. So
yeah. Yes, rural, more like the Lost Church. It was. You look at the pictures, it was lovely. You'd have loved it, but it was in the middle of nowhere. But hey ho, we couldn't find it. Gwen's fault. But we had a lovely talk to the locals. They were quite nice. We had a beer, and then we obviously made our way back, and then we had some dinner. I believe we didn't do anything on the way back, did we?
Did we on the way back?
Huh?
We went for dinner on the way back, didn't we?
Yeah. We went to the Coach Inn.
Yeah, it's lovely. That's a lovely place.
Yeah, which is a real nice. Or did we? Yes, we went to the Coach Inn in Llandoffrey. So Sue, if you're watching, yeah, that would have been near the castle. I think it was opposite the castle. It's called the Coach Inn or the King's Head. Was it the King's Head?
Lovely pub.
Yeah, lovely pub.
Lovely
really nice pub. Really nice food. Couldn't agree more about that. And it's really haunted. There's a beam where we sit, and it scribed into it was something like 1710 or something like that. So it's
and you walk to the toilet and you're never alone in that.
Oh,
you're walking down there. Never alone.
All that bit. It's got loads of chairs.
Yeah,
as
horrible.
Well.
Horrible. That is a nasty haunting, whatever's in there.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more with that one. Could not agree more with that one. So we've had our dinner, then we've headed back to our home, up the mountains, through the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. This time we always come back dark as well. Do you know what I mean? Opening the gate in the dark, yeah. And at this point, we got back and everything was all right. We had a cup of tea and sat down 5 minutes. And then we decided that I do believe, well, I never decided. I think the girls.
I don't know how we got there. How did we get there?
I think we was in the front room doing a bit of calling out, doing a bit of spirit box work. And someone suggested the 3 girls will go up to the top. Okay. Night 3 is where we sat at the top of the stairs. Sandra got taken over after a spirit locked me and Sandra in the room.
No, that was us. We just didn't want you chatting downstairs. No, I'm joking.
But that was Sue stayed there. Sue has stayed there. Yep, lovely food. I thought it was when I stayed there and saw a gentleman there in spirit. And if you remember rightly, we was in the front room, me, you, Henry, Jay, and the girls were up sitting on the
I don't know, what were we doing up?
We were just downstairs.
Just chilling, I suppose, or something.
Yeah. But remember when we was calling out and we was getting told to shut up?
Yeah.
Can you be quiet? We was getting told to be quiet. But then Kim called me, and then Sandra had a channeling experience. I would say more channeling than trance, because I do believe Sandra was pretty much in it to win it. She was with us, I do believe, because she was talking in her own tongue and obviously spirit tongue as well. Oh,
that's interesting.
Me, Kim and Maz were seeing something trying to manifest. But when we got to the top of the stairs, and Sandra, she was being quite aggressive to the energy in our room, and didn't want that energy to come out of our room. And I believe the story was something along the lines of there were sisters or 3 children brought there, and some wrongdoing done, witchcraft sort of stuff, and
down in the cellar.
Yeah, obviously you couldn't get in the cellar because that had all been bricked off, but that sort of feeling would come on. And I think, if I remember rightly, that Sandra was channeling the energy that was bringing the children there, and then trying to say she wasn't. But I think we all picked up on that she was quite the bad penny. And there was a massive black shadow standing in. There was a massive black shadow that walked across your room and stood in the door.
Exactly what I saw on the first night. So was that protection? Was that protection?
Well, is how when I spoke to that gentleman in the morning, that gentleman was from he said he was from old London town. He wasn't Welsh. He was called in from old London town. And just like you said, there was work done in that basement area. And I do believe that there was a fouled exorcism in that basement.
Right. Okay.
But he was called in, and obviously, coming from London, he had the big jacket on, the big boots. I think his stature was more pronounced because of the attire he was wearing. I'm not going to put him along, like the front of the Exorcist sort of film, but that sort of, he did have that long jacket sort of. He was protection for us, but wanted Sandra's spirit.
Come on, Russ. When it's 4 o'clock in the morning, you're scared. You've got the quilt over your head, and you're just peeking out from the side of it.
I was dead to the world,
I wasn't. I was joking.
But he was there because I do believe he had something to do with that last sort of, and I do feel that was probably why the the cellar was blocked in.
Yeah.
I do feel that there was something that was blocked in there. But it was he did what he could. He did what he could, but he actually died on his way back to London. He never made it back from that cottage to London.
Mhm.
For what reason, I couldn't tell you. For what reason, I don't know. But he didn't make it back to London. Do I think it was anything to do with what went on? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not going to say yes or no to that at the moment. But there was that he was, I say, yes, Kim there. He was massive, blocked out the doorway, and this is what he was. He was protection for us, but wanted Sandra's spirit. And that's not he wanted Sandra. He wanted the spirit that was obviously talking through Sandra at this point. But Sandra was adamant that she wouldn't tell us anything. But I do believe that there was they knew about this in this. I don't know what they call them, villages or towns. There was a sheriff involved, and that the word sheriff was used. So I know that was sort of 1800s. I think the sheriffs, 1800s sheriffs, were used in, England, Wales. So that was. I do think that the law, and I say, however, is there the law who, however, it was sheriff, police, whatever was there, called this gentleman or got a message to this gentleman in London that they believe could help. And I do think that he was some form of exorcist. I really do. And I think that's why he was probably, I don't think he was over everybody. I don't think he was probably just over me, but I think he walked around us individually, looking after everybody more than just me.
That's good.
Obviously, I genuinely do. I think he also, he spirit know what energies feel like. Don't they?
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
They do know that a good energy is a good energy.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's what sort of happened on that, because obviously we opened the door, didn't we? We let the young girl in, if you remember.
Yeah.
We introduced the young girl, the children back into the cottage at some point as well.
Yeah.
Remember Jay, or it's Jay, yeah, because Henry was in our bedroom holding that energy back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Me and you were sort of on the stairwell.
Yeah.
Up and down, and Jay was down by the door, wasn't he, at the bottom of the stairs, because we kept hearing sort of like on the doors.
Yeah, we do.
So that is one of the sort of, and that is sort of what happened that night, was the sort of start of what was to come, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I think this led into, and once again, it all kicks off when bloody Gwen's around.
Gwyneth.
I don't
Gwen,
care.
sure.
But did you not get? Was this not the first night that you got Gwen's name?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
But could you get that, or was it the last night?
I can't remember. Can't remember. It might have been at the table the last night.
Because you was using the Necrophonics, wasn't you? You was using the sound app.
Yeah, we were.
It was either, whatever night it was either the third night or fourth night that Gwyneth got named, and it was because it come through the app Necrophonics, didn't it?
Yeah, Gwyneth. Yes,
Gwyneth, which is apt. It's very Welsh. Gwyneth.
Gwyneth.
We've got a message come through on the other side of things. The Black Shadow, was it a monk? I'm getting a monk as you are talking. I don't think it was, Carl, unfortunately. I don't think it was a monk. I didn't get a Monk feel from it. He had more of the he did look like your stereotypical exorcist at that time. You know, the hat, you know, the big jacket, and I do believe he had quite big boots on.
The more along the lines of a witchfinder, I would say, a witchfinder look. That sort of look. Not being a witchfinder, but that's
that sort of It was that sort of witchfinder sort of look. Yeah.
Not a witchfinder, that look. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. It was the last night Gwen got her name.
Gwyneth, Kim. Gwyneth.
Well, I don't care what her bloody name is. It's Satan for all I care. But so Gwen got named, okay, but the last day all we did was have a very easy day on the last full day there. We went up to Castle Castile, walked around the Castle Castile. Me, Sandra, Kim, Henry, and Jay went down the tunnel of Castle Crag, which was quite intense. To be fair, that we had some really good stuff going there. We heard noises, we saw shadows, we even heard talking. We did a lot of necrophonics work down there. We got some names. It was definitely quite intense down that tunnel bit. Simon and Maz never joined us on that one, but we went down the tunnel in Castle Crag.
Nice, lovely cup of coffee.
Yeah, unlimited coffee. But is also, I had my claim to fame. A girl screamed. That was it. A girl screamed. We heard a girl scream down there. I remember that, Kim. Yeah, it was quite intense. Our claim to fame. Me and Henry spoke to. I can't think of the bloke's name, but he's off Good Morning Britain. Sean something, wasn't it? Sean, whoever it was. We had a conversation with a bloke. His missus lives in the Oakle area, apparently. So from GMTV or Good Morning Britain, don't know what it's called. Is it? It's not. Is GMTV? Is it? What's the one on their mornings with Ben Shepherd and all that? IT. Sean Fletcher. Sean Fletcher. Thank you, Kim. So, I wonder if he ever mentioned us on there. When he came on, when I come back from my holidays, I met some ghost hunters because that's where we spoke to him. Because he was taking his dog down the tunnel, and the dog didn't want to go down there. The dog was absolutely crapping itself, absolutely crapping itself. And when we come out, we said, your dog didn't want to go down. He said, my dog normally goes everywhere, just didn't want to go down that tunnel. I said, I don't blame it. I said, it's haunted as hell. From Good Morning Britain. So I had a conversation with him. Lovely chap. Really nice guy. So then we went back to we got some food. We cooked a nice shepherd's pie. We was going to do a live seance that night. So if you was on our
all started before the live seance.
Because I think people were going down to the barn and things like that, wasn't they?
Yeah, we were sitting around the table. We had Gwen out. We had Jay's glasses out. His binoculars. We had EMFs. We had like trigger balls, like the cat balls. And this before we went live, we were just doing a bit of investigation. We had EMFs, and every time Jay put the glasses to Gwen's eyes to look through, it set everything off. It set everything off, man. It was very intense in there. I think that's when we might have got the name. That might be where we got the name because we were doing the thing there as well. But so it really kicked off there, and we couldn't we couldn't stop it. And we thought, that'd be brilliant because when we start to record tonight, the cat balls were going off, Maz, you're right. Everything was going off on that table. We thought it's going to be brilliant tonight because it was all reacting. So
Yeah.
it was really, really good. So that's where it was off. I think, I can't remember who went down to the
I think
outhouse.
I do think everyone sort of popped down there at some point throughout
Yes.
the afternoon.
Yeah.
I generally do. The videos are on all our Facebook pages, guys. So if you want to go over to the Facebook page, have a look about the videos of Gwen going off and on. You can, sense if she's evil or not. But I was in between sort of cooking dinner. I was just trying to get my eyes down for 5 minutes. Then I went upstairs and it was the biggest thud that I'd ever heard in my life. And I can tell you now, Jay nailed what it was. It was when the bed lifted. The bed I was laying in lifted up and dropped. And that was the biggest. I don't think my feet touched the floor coming down.
You did move pretty quick.
Because I shit myself. I swore on radio. Sorry. I crapped myself something rotten because it was so loud and the bed just vibrated and the bed was huge.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was a huge bed to lift up, and the thud, I thought something was gonna. I generally thought it was you and Jay sodding around banging the ceiling.
No,
I generally did.
We were sitting there. We were sitting there. We were definitely sitting there. Yeah, and it was Sandra and Maz that went down to the outhouse.
Yeah. And I think you went down at some point. I think I went down at some point.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
I think everyone sort of had a little go around it at some point throughout the day. But after dinner and after we'd sat down 5 minutes, the story takes the most drastic turn possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely drastic. And while I just play an advert, we'll be back after the break.
Do you like things that go bump in the night? Are you interested in the paranormal? Ever fancied yourself as an investigator? Come and experience it for yourself on an Essex Ghost Hunters event with over 20 years of experience in the field with investigations countrywide. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and for event information, please go to www.essexghosthunters.co.uk. And if that's not enough, join us every week on the EGH Paranormal Talk Show, live on Pulse Talk Radio.
Welcome back to day 5 or 4.
Yeah, 4.
Things go a little bit deeper than we was ever expecting. We were going to do a seance. We all sat around the table. We was going to go live on Facebook for you guys to watch it. We couldn't get a signal to hold. We only had one thing going. Friday night show, we had 3 things going, connecting. But that night, we only wanted one bit of kit going. It didn't want to connect. It didn't hold at all. So we started the seance. We set up the camera just to record it as a edit. That didn't record, did it, at first? Didn't want to know. And then I managed to get it to work. But this is where it got quite intense, wasn't it, Simon?
It did.
We felt the energies come in.
Yeah.
We felt the energies really coming close. We heard the creaks. We heard the knockings on the doors. We heard footsteps. EMFs were going off. You know, everything that we could, you felt, you just know your spiritual sense just knew that something wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
And we, when you do a seance, you do open up to a lot of things. You invite things. We've been, me and Simon and the team have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah,
so it's
we're
nothing that
pretty used to it.
yeah, we push the boundaries. We
Yeah,
do
we do.
push the boundaries. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, but we push the boundaries that little bit extra, okay? Because we've done this. It is recorded. Kim is right. But it's touch and go if we're going to release this recording or not at the moment. All right, because it is intense, and you'll understand why we may not release the recording. And then all of a sudden, we was getting a story, and bang, it happened. Two energies gate crashed the party, or I won't say gate crash because I was probably there, but they just ramped it up, and that was it. They overlaid Sandra and Maz.
Yeah.
And poor old Maz had never tranced before in her life. Probably wouldn't. There's a good chance that Maz would probably never do it again. Okay.
You will.
Yeah, I would like to see it, but that was intense for first time, Simon. That wasn't nice. It really wasn't, because these two energies come in. We was calling them hags.
Hag 1 and Hag 2. It's the only way they would be addressed.
Yeah.
It wasn't the only way they would be addressed.
Absolutely, they weren't taking anything else apart from that. But is what had happened throughout the weekend that I'd noticed is that it wasn't meant. It wasn't meant, but foul language, beyond all foul language, was getting used. And we're not normal. Yes, we say the couple of F words and shut up, that, but it got quite intense with certain words. And it all come to light that night for me. It did. It sort of. Yeah. I do believe them two energies were around all weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree.
And we allowed. We pushed the boundaries. Maybe looking back on it, we would have probably not allowed it to go that far. If we had a choice again, because getting people back was quite hard to do so. But they were a part of a cult, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah, it was a cult.
They wouldn't talk to us, really, would they?
No, they never, even to the end, they didn't really, did they?
No. And the only time they was wanting to talk was when we sort of said, well, your time is up here.
Yeah.
We don't want you. We don't need you.
No.
I've never had two people in trance get up and try to run.
No, actually, no.
I've never had that.
No.
I've never had to fight with somebody to try and release them, so to speak.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was so intense that these two, they didn't want their story told. They didn't want the story of how they were bringing children to be murdered and sacrificed here.
No, they didn't.
They were doing, and I do believe they were the two. I think you picked up on it as well, that they were the two witches down by the outhouses.
Yeah, I don't think they'd ever come into the house. And up until that point, I don't think they were ever in the house.
No, but I think their energies were very much around that.
Oh yeah, yes, mate. Yeah,
and I think that they were so hard. Even to the point they portrayed that they cared for each other and they worked, but at one point when we was going to let whatever was at the back door in, they were scared of what was at the back door.
Yeah.
Okay, they were petrified what
But
was
would
at
have
the
been
back
the front door. But would have been.
Yeah. Which would have been the front door. They were petrified, and that was our threat. And we was going to let them, then we weren't. And you know, there was a good cop, bad cop moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You know, I was bad cop, Simon was good cop. Then it would get to a point where Simon would be good cop, and I would be bad cop, and I would be good cop. You know, we played the game with them, but with no real outcome.
No, there wasn't.
Until we actually opened the front stroke back door to let this energy in, and they both got up and bolted for the door. You know, it was like, oh my God, we've got two people in trance trying to get out the front door. And then we had to make sure that the front door was protected because we couldn't have any more stuff coming in. Now, poor old Kim wasn't feeling too great. She picked up the camera and followed everybody out. Henry managed to get Maz sort of back to the here and now, but getting Sandra back to the here and now wasn't happening. It was so hard to pull back, but we managed to get them both back sort of to the here, to the now, to the here, to the now.
Yeah. And before this happened, before any of this happened, I was told to take my protection kit to Wales.
Yeah.
That's never come with me in my entire ghost hunting days, but it did that weekend.
Because we do feel, that there was a male banshee. Was that what it was? I think was at the back door.
Yes,
I think, you know, and this is where the dagger that was bought on Friday morning was used because gold is supposed to protect you from.
Yes, Kim found out the names. Yeah, the Banshee. Yeah. I don't think it was Banshee, but it was a name such as Banshee.
It was something. Yeah. It was it was something
like that. Yeah.
And we never, you know, we had really no interaction with what was by that back door. It was what was going to happen. Yeah, what was going to happen was going to happen. We just protected ourselves. I think we had some information that don't look at its eyes, don't look at it, don't make any attention to it, and so forth. Or, you know, and that's what we did. And that energy from the front or the front / back door come and cleared our energy down.
Yes, it did
for us.
Yeah.
Which worked in our favor, even though it was quite intense. The equivalent to a male banshee dug into my childhood superstitions. That was Kim. Yeah. Whatever, you know, and I know that male banshees are quite rare, I think, at the point.
Yeah.
At that. So we cleared that, and we managed to get Mrs. A back to the here and now. And I must admit, I'm not the most, when it comes to religion, I'm not, you know, Bible religion, if that makes sense. I'm not a biblical religious person, but I do pray. I do make my wishes to a higher being.
Yeah.
It's just, I suppose it's just the Bible that I don't tend to follow, but I do believe there is a creator, someone of a higher power that I ask for help to, and, you know, for protection and so forth.
Yeah.
But I've never had to use the sign of the cross to pull someone back from trance.
No.
Never.
No, and I've never had to use, I used that particular night ever.
Yeah.
I've never used it, and I have now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and this was all filmed. This was all filmed. But for the likes of poor old Maz, that for all intents and purposes, you might as well have stuck her in a ring with Mike Tyson and she would have probably felt better after 10 rounds with Mike Tyson than she would have coming out of trance. And when I say trance, the pair of them was about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes of trance.
Yeah.
Now
Definitely.
that, you know, is hard going. And as I say, pushing boundaries.
Oh, we did push. We did push.
You know, as Sandra said, look, the whole faces, demeanor, their voice changed. It was a very, very intense. As I say, I don't get frightened to the point of my fright.
Yeah,
but
even you panicked. You did panic.
Yeah, panic set in because at this point, you know, I've had this massive thud that happened about 3 hours, 4 hours beforehand that was very much poltergeist / demonic presence sound.
Yeah.
That wasn't spiritual. Whatever that was, there is no way spirit could lift a bed or make that sort of vibrational noise in that way. Whatever that was, poltergeist. And that was that. And towards the end, when we managed to talk Maz back, but she felt, you could see it was very hard for Sandra. Obviously, Sandra is more capable of this sort of thing. You know, we can push Sandra a little deeper than I would push Maz deeper. And that is where we sort of just, I had to put the sign of the cross on her forehead. I have never had to do that in my whole 20 plus years of working in the paranormal field. Never.
No.
I really haven't. And that was the frightening part.
Yeah.
You know, that was...
Everybody had holy water, and that's never happened in 20 years.
No one said no. No one said no. Because we knew how far we had pushed it. Yeah. And this is what I say, that the video of it all is there, but then is it too personal? Is it too much for, I'll make a video up and then I will play it to the team, and then the team will have the say. We'll have a vote on if we should put it out or not. Because there is a hell of a lot of, and I mean, yeah, we're Essex born and bred, we're commoners, we do use F and Jeffs, but there was some real foul language, and I'd probably sort of have to beep it out a little bit because I wouldn't want that. But I think it would I don't know how Sandra and Maz would react watching it back, because it was intense. It was intense. But we will get there, guys. If the team think it is good enough to do it, there you go, Maz. Not sure if you would do it again.
Yeah, you will be. You will be.
You were amazing, Maz. Once again, with trance, you don't really remember anything, don't recall anything except anger. That was towards me, probably, and whoever was around that table.
Yeah, I think it was me and you, because we were playing it. And we did play it. We played it pretty well, I think.
But every place that we've stayed, Maz, I just think it says, Jay says, "You are evil." I think you've misspelled that.
I think you've got that pause wrong.
All right, you've got it. It was, but every place that we've gone to in Wales, I've always had an urge to want to go back. I would go back to any property we've stayed in Wales. That one, you know what, doesn't interest me. If someone said to me, "Do you want to go back next week?" You know what? It really doesn't interest me. I don't know why. I don't.
No, perhaps we've done what we had to do. Perhaps
I don't. if looks could kill.
Perhaps we went there to do something and we've done it. Perhaps that had to be done there, Russ.
Yeah, but even if something's done, I would still, I love them weekends away. I love that. I love staying in a haunted. But this cottage was just not a go back for me.
No.
I just don't think I would go back to Hina Gloging or whatever it was. I'd go back to the other one, and I'd go back to the other one we stayed in. But this one, no, Leonard Nuda, whatever it was, I would have no interest in going back to. Of course, I would go back. That's not what I'm saying, but I just have no pull to go back to that place. When I drove away from that place,
job done.
I didn't look back.
No.
I didn't, it was just a really strange place, a strange cottage. I felt the whole area stranger than
I put it this way, I didn't want to really venture very much further up that hill. I didn't want to go up that hill. There was something strange up that hill. So no, you're probably right.
So that for me is, Linda Neward or whatever it was called, Neward, is probably closed now.
Yeah. Yes.
I think, I think Brecon is one of the loveliest places that you can go and you can find some real sought after little cottages where if you're a paranormal team interested in the paranormal, you could go and find. But this one, what's that? Jay said, did one chair change to two? Hey?
No.
Don't know that one. I don't know. Maybe we tracked all three energies there.
Maybe we tracked that.
I don't know. But I generally did feel, and very rarely do you walk away from any paranormal investigation feeling complete.
Actually, you're probably right. I did feel complete. I felt sort of the job was done. All that I could do, I had done.
I agree.
I think the job wasn't done, but all that I could do there had been done. I don't know what the job was. I couldn't tell you what the job was, but there's no pull there. There's no pull back to there. No.
There really, really isn't. But the previous one before that, in the forest with the UFO, I have a pull back there. I want to go back there. I really want to go back there.
I'd like to go back to the Firestarter Cottage. That one I'd like to go back to.
Yeah. Them two really are drawn back to them. But I do think that we have now got to get to North Wales. Well, I think we've now got to look to the north part of Wales.
Where the old workhouses and that sort of place. Yes.
Yeah.
And that reservoir where the Victorian city's underneath. Yeah.
Lake Vyrnwy or something like that it's called.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So, but we're there. We've come to the end of the show. We are going to be at our event tomorrow night from our first ever time at Waltham Abbey Town Hall.
Superb. I reckon it's going to be superb. And guess who's coming? Gwen.
Well, you know what's going to happen. Then it's all going to go absolutely Pete bloody Tong. We'll probably get absolutely nothing apart from the devil turning up, knocking on the door. And I'm going to have to take the dagger then, aren't I?
Yeah.
So we'll make sure we can kill her if we have to.
Yeah.
But no, guys, thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. We'll probably really fascinating stuff. Thank you ever so much. That is Jan Alkin. Well, join us again next week, Joanne. We're on live every Friday at 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock on Facebook, Pulse Talk Radio, and on YouTube. So every week at 8 o'clock. We'll be back next week. We'll probably be talking about what happened tomorrow night. And by the look of it, we're going to have to, we haven't had a time to talk about Simon's book that he wanted to show us. So we'll be talking about that next week.
Amazing book. An amazing book.
Right, we'll talk about that next week for sure. And as Maz has just said, the newest team member will be joining us tomorrow. It is the Purple Geist will be joining us tomorrow. But sorry about that. I am coughing down the microphone. But honestly, guys, thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. What shall we play? Oh, I'm using the wrong mouse to get us out. We want a short, sharp little song to play us out tonight. What's about that one? We're going to be played out on Pulse Talk Radio tonight by Hippie and Mango. So thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to all our wonderful, wonderful listeners over on Pulse Talk Radio. We will be back. I will be back next Thursday on my other show, Journey Through the Unexplained. There's loads of new shows coming to Pulse Talk Radio, guys. Loads of new shows. I've been very busy over the last couple of weeks helping out some new presenters that are coming on, got their own new shows. So over the next couple of weeks and month or so, we should be having them all put in place and ready to go. So please, obviously, stay tuned for everybody on there. But we'll be back next week. Thank you ever so much, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Thanks all the listeners. And I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you to all our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guests on Facebook tonight and on YouTube. Please stay safe out there. And if anybody's watching that will be joining us tomorrow night, we'll see you tomorrow night. Team members, see you tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow, team members. Woo!
And we'll see you next week.
See you later.